We have major breaking news this morning. Detectives have discovered remains in the search for missing Sydney woman Melissa Caddick.
This is quite an incredible development in a case that has really mystified authorities. She's the businesswoman accused of stealing tens of millions of dollars from investors, has been missing for 3 months, and this is one of the more complex cases, Nat, because of the nature of the documentation that was invented by Melissa. Basically, she was running a financial services organisation but was not qualified to be doing such, and as a result has left a trail of emotional and financial devastation, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of investors who've lost their money. And what about her family as well, who are waking to this devastating news? Her teenage son and her husband, who are left behind. He was allegedly left with $1.95 in his bank account when Melissa went missing back in November.
Exactly. They reckon more than 60 people have been lured into her trap, handing over, in some cases, all their super savings, their life savings. They are emotionally and financially distraught after this horrific way she was doing it. She was apparently providing hundreds of fake statements on Commonwealth Bank and CommSec letterhead. So it looked like she was investing their money wisely and making money. She was investing none of it. She was ripping them off.
Really incredible. We're going to go live now to 7 News reporter Evan Batten in Sydney. Evan, do we know any more?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Very sad news here. I mean, this is the last thing that Melissa Caddick's family would have wanted to hear, but certainly we know that on the weekend, human remains were found on a beach near or at Bega. They've been forensically tested this week, and DNA testing has concluded that they belong to the 49-year-old missing mum, Melissa Caddick. Now, for investors, we know it was only a couple of days ago that we had the update from the provisional liquidator saying that because she's still classified as a missing person, that the assets can't be sold and their money can't be released and returned to them. Now, this may well be a total game changer on that front, but certainly the major news today, the police are expected to announce in the next couple of minutes this major breakthrough in the case. Of course, she's been a missing person for many months, as you say. No one had any idea where she was, disappearing with the life savings of dozens and dozens of clients. We've heard figures up to 60 potential clients that she has fleeced over a 7-year period, taking tens of millions of dollars, their life savings, on the provision that she would invest it on their behalf. It's been revealed in the last couple of months, of course, though we now know that she has no financial services licence, no right to be taking their money and investing it on their behalf. And in fact, she was making no investments at all. The money was going straight into her own personal bank account, split up and spent on a very lavish lifestyle. We know that she has that very expensive home at Dover Heights there, which investors will now be hoping can be sold off to help recover some of their lost life savings.
Yeah, Evan, we're waiting to hear from police. We can see the media gathered behind you there now. We're expecting that press conference shortly. As you've touched on there, I guess this case captivated Australia initially when that Dover Heights home that you've mentioned, $6 million approximately, that home was raided back in November. And then even Melissa's family mentioned that they were at a loss to explain where she had gone, what had happened, and I guess what had happened to this vast amount of money. They were left with, a couple of $1,000s in her husband's personal account, $1.95. Absolutely, and $5,600 in one of her accounts. Just small amounts of cash left after so many millions. Yeah, we know it was on November 11, 12, just after ASIC and the AFP raided her Dover Heights home, seizing all those documents and really closing in on her. She realised the game was up. However, one of the intriguing things about this case that has captivated so much attention is that she was last heard leaving home at around 5:30, we're told, one morning to go for a walk or a run around the suburb there. Now, for all the CCTV in homes and dash camera footage that the police have been able to get from people helping with their investigation, they've not been able to find a single sighting of her anywhere that morning. And so that, of course, added to speculation that maybe she's staged a disappearance. And so for months we've just been waiting to see what would emerge and would there be any reported sightings of her. Now, sadly, of course, we've heard that her remains have been found. 7 News has been told that they are not complete remains, if I can put it like that, but just partial remains. But certainly they have been DNA tested. And now we're just waiting to hear from police. Will this rule out foul play as a possible scenario here, and does it point towards misadventure or just, as they say, this is the circumstances surround her death not being suspicious? We're just going to have to wait and see what they say in a few minutes' time.
Yeah, look, as you say, talking about family members, very sad for her immediate family, but her parents and her brother were apparently among investors that have lost an awful lot of money in this. And on the security camera issue, there are allegations, Evan, I think, that the security cameras at the Caddick house were disabled on that day. Oh, let's go to the press conference.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined with by Detective Inspector Gretchen Atkins of the Eastern Suburbs Police Area Command, and I want to provide you all with details of a significant breakthrough in the investigation into the disappearance of Melissa Caddick, but we'll recap a few points if you'll bear with me. As you're all aware, Melissa was last seen physically at her home address in Dover Heights on Wednesday the 11th of November last year. During that day, a search warrant was executed by the Australian Securities Investment Commission, or ASIC, which concluded that evening. Police have been informed that around 5:30 a.m. the following day, the front door of her home was heard to close by her son, who believed that it was Melissa leaving to go for a run. At that time, Melissa left her personal belongings, which included her mobile phone, wallet and keys. The next morning, Melissa Caddick was reported missing to police. As a result, a missing person investigation was launched, which involved police from the Eastern Suburbs Police Area Command, the State Crime Command Missing Persons Registry and other resources. Appeals for information yielded numerous inquiries which have been followed up without any confirmed sightings of Melissa from the time of her reported disappearance. Part of those investigations included extensive land, air and sea searches. During the course of those searches, our Marine Area Command provided advice to investigators based on offshore drift modelling that raised the possibility that an object or a body that entered the water around the Dover Heights area could drift as far south as the Bermagui area. I can now inform you that last Sunday the 21st of February, a shoe was located on the shoreline of the Bordana National Park south of Tathra by campers. Within that shoe were the remains of a human foot. That foot and the shoe, which matched the size and description of a shoe that Melissa Caddick was seen wearing during the execution of the ASIC search warrant, were conveyed to the New South Wales Health Forensic and Science Services section here in Sydney, where DNA from the foot was last night matched to a DNA sample from Melissa Caddick's toothbrush and from family members. Melissa's family were informed of the identification last night and are obviously distressed. Now, as you're aware, there's been a lot of commentary and a lot of speculation in relation to the disappearance of Melissa Caddick, and that's understandable. Clearly, the circumstances of Melissa's disappearance have been distressing for many people, including her alleged victims and, of course, her family and friends. I can say that exactly how Melissa came to enter the water is still a mystery and will be subject of ongoing investigations by the Strike Force team. And police have always kept an open mind in relation to what the circumstances were for her disappearance, including the fact that Melissa may have taken her own life. However, a definitive decision in relation to the manner, time and cause of death is a matter for the coroner. And investigations, as I said, will be ongoing. Finally, can I acknowledge the outstanding work of police from the Eastern Suburbs Police Area Command, State Crime Command, our specialist search officers, the Marine Area Command, and most importantly, our colleagues at New South Wales Health for the outstanding work that they've done in a timely manner to match those remains to Melissa's DNA.